All right, so we started recording. Because we are all remote, we will do a roll call attendance. So Mike Krager, everybody just go through and say your name.
Mike Amandalier.
Carl
Jesse
Hummel.
Curl.
Billy Haddad here.
Tyler, you just muted yourself.
Sorry. I was like, I swear I unmuted Tyler Bot.
I could see you working through it. All right, so awesome. Yeah, so we don't actually have this on the agenda, but Tyler, welcome. You are now officially fully sworn in, new member of the Finance Committee. So I get excited for your first meeting here. Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so the first item we will get to is interviews for candidates for the 3 slots for the Finance Committee that are currently open. They technically expired in June. Sorry, I don't know if this is Ron trying to call me. I don't think so. Might be a spam message. Okay. All right, so we need to do interviews and make a recommendation to the select board for the 3 people who are terms are expired, which is myself, Jesse, and Ron, which is why it's important he joins the call. So the way we will go about doing this is I will call for a motion because all 3 of us expressed interest in being reappointed. Both, all of those were sent to the select board, and they would like a recommendation from the Finance Committee on whether to reappoint or not. Hey, there's Ron. Awesome. Perfect timing.
You're
Ron,
muted.
just for the record, come off mute and just do a roll call. Say your name. You're on mute.
Sorry. Okay. Ron Zamuto.
Perfect. Thanks, Ron.
Yep.
All right. So the way we'll go through this is I will make a motion to recommend all 3 candidates individually. And during the discussion part, we can start with the candidate who we are making a motion about can say a few words if they decide. And if the rest of the committee would like to ask questions and just have a discussion with the candidate, then that's your time to do so during the discussion period. At that point, when the discussion is over, we will take a vote to either recommend or not to the select board to reappoint that person to the Finance Committee. And I will ask the person who is being voted on to recuse themselves from the vote. Any questions on that process?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So I make a motion to recommend to the select board to reappoint Jesse Curl to the Finance Committee for another term.
Second.
All right. Discussion.
I think he's done an excellent job and recommend that he continue doing so.
Agree.
Jesse, is there anything that you wanted to say?
I wasn't sure if you needed like a credential for the record or anything. I can just like state what I do outside of
This
Finance
is
Committee.
this is the first time. Go ahead, Carl.
You did that in the letter you sent expressing interest.
I did?
My letter expressing interest personally was just a sentence saying I'd like to be reappointed.
Yeah, that's what I thought I did too.
So, yeah, given so this is where our process does not currently cover long tenured people desiring to be reappointed. We haven't written out those processes yet. So I believe that I believe there are a lack in our documented process for this. This is the first time I've been asked to interview people who are being reappointed. So we're kind of going through this together. So at the moment, since we don't have any other candidates on docket, we would go through this in a slightly different way, kind of like what the Concom did, where we'd be a little bit more official about some of the, recusing ourselves and like handing over the process to people not involved. So I'm being a little bit more informal and just allow, if you want to say something, it is up to you. If not, again, I would also personally recommend reappointing you, Jesse. You've done a fantastic job and are a great asset to the committee. So
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'm interested in staying on for another 2 years, I think it is. So is it 2?
I don't remember if it's 2 or 3. It might be 3.
I believe it's 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't
I-
change your mind, does it?
I crossed, like I haven't even been here 3 years, but
Yeah.
my term was staggered, so it wouldn't conflict with others. So yeah, express my interest. I am interested and hope to continue doing what we're doing. I'm on FinCom and the Capital Planning Committee.
Great. All right. Any other discussion for Jesse? All right. So we'll do a roll call vote. So Mike Krager, aye.
Carl Hummel, aye.
Mike Mandalia, aye.
Ron Zamuto, aye.
Billy Haddad, aye.
Tyler Rabat, aye.
Great. Congratulations, Jesse. We will recommend you to the Finance Committee to be reappointed.
To the
right.
select board.
What did I say? Yeah, recommend to the select board for you to be reappointed to the Finance Committee.
Finance
I say
Committee.
it the other way around.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to be on the select board.
All right. Up next, I make a motion to recommend to the select board to reappoint Ron Zamuto to the Finance Committee for another 3-year term.
Second.
All right. Any discussion?
I think he's done a great job and should continue doing so.
I
Thank you.
echo what Ron said. I mean, I echo what Carl said.
Thank you very much. I didn't know that you only put one sentence in your letter. I wrote like a paragraph. I wouldn't have wasted that much time. But anyways, I would just say that I think that when you're on this committee and you learn, I think it would be a travesty if someone just left after, taking the time to learn. And so, I don't want to say I felt obligated, but I enjoy being on it. But I think it's also good for members to run again, just for the reason that you understand it and you don't have to train somebody again from scratch. I guess, like what happened to me 5 years ago. So anyways, that's all I got to say. And that's about it.
Great. All right. Any other discussion for Ron? All right. Roll call vote. All those, or just do a roll call vote. Mike Krager, aye.
Carl
Mike
Hummel, aye.
Mandalia, aye.
Billy Haddad, aye.
Tyler Rabat, aye.
All right. So, Ron, congratulations. We will unanimously recommend to the select board for you to be reappointed to the Finance Committee for another term.
Thank you.
Great. All right. And finally, I make a motion to recommend that myself be reappointed to the Finance Committee. Recommend to the select board to reappoint myself to the Finance Committee.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think you did a great job and should keep doing so.
Awesome. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate it.
I think,
I like to-
Mike, I was going to say, I think that the job you do is excellent. And what I like is the way, it not that it's just rubber stamped. And I think it's important that we all question. And I like the fact that since you're chair, you get to sometimes do that right initially, which is great. And sometimes when you're questioning things, I think of, oh, wow, why didn't I think of that? And maybe that's why you're a good chair. You always think of it first. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And-
Appreciate it.
And clarification. Mike's a great clarifier, which is very helpful because sometimes I make general statements and he actually clarifies my statements for me. It's great.
Well, I'm glad to be here for you guys. So, yeah, no, I enjoy doing this. And, if you guys approve, I look forward to another term. So. All right. Any other questions for me?
We approve. It's up to the select board to make the appointment.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Roll call vote. I will
Carl
not be
Hummel,
voting.
Mike Mandalia, aye.
Jesse Curley.
Ron Zamuto, aye.
Billy Haddad, aye.
Tyler Abott, aye.
Thanks, guys. Okay. The only other item was to approve the meeting minutes, but the link that was previously sent out was to the agenda, so technically nobody has had time to review them before the meeting. I resent out the link to the minutes, so I will hopefully, what's today? Today is Monday, right? I know the select board is meeting on Wednesday. I don't know if we can add to their agenda the discussion about reappointing, us to the finance committee. If that does happen, I will quickly try to get a meeting on the books to handle the topics for future meetings, which will include the review of the June 11th meeting minutes. But really, we will need to focus on reorganization and reorganization and inputs about the general bylaws surrounding finance committee, as well as I'd like to do a post-mortem every year where we think about how things went. What would we like to suggest moving forward, procedurally, operationally, kind of any sort of feedback about the budget making process and the budget discussion process and planning. So, keep those things in mind for the next meeting. So, all right. Good and welfare for the committee. Is there anything that folks want to bring up here? Okay. I don't have any items not really anticipated 48 hours later in advance, and I will schedule a future meeting that is dependent on the select board's recommendations. So I'm not going to schedule a future meeting if they don't want me on the FinCom anymore. So, all right. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor? Roll call vote. Mike Rager, aye.
Carl Hummel, aye.
Mike Mandalir, aye.
Jesse Curler.
Billy Haddad, aye.
Ron Zamuto, aye.
Tyler Abott, aye.
Great. Meeting's adjourned at 6:54 p.m. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thanks a lot,
Good
Mike.
evening.
Thanks
See you,
all.
everyone. Yep. Bye.
Bye.